school outside of the facility?
Oh, no. Well, I mean, at the boys' ranch, yeah, they would bus. We would catch the bus, and along with the rest of the kids in the hood, you know,
Okay.
and they bus us back and forward to school, yeah, at that particular ranch, yeah.
So on that ranch, was there some cowboy shit going on?
Oh yeah, man, that's all we had. We had horses, cows, you know, goats, chickens. You know, it was a ranch, you know.
So you really been around that shit.
Oh yeah, man, I've been exposed to that all my life. I mean, 4 acres back in the gap, you go through there, that's all they had was horses, cows, goats, sheep, whatever livestock you wanted, they had it. Farm animals, they had it.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so how much time you do over there?
I stayed there until I actually got into a physical altercation with another guy, one of the white guys. We got into it, and I hit the guy with a 2x4, but I didn't know the 2x4 had nails in it. And
Damn it, man.
yeah, I messed him up pretty good. And so at that time, when that happened, they called the police, and so I ran. And I ended up back in Port Arthur, you know, but I'm on the run at that age because I know they got the assault charge against me. And then when I finally was caught, like 8 months later, I ended up going to Gatesville, and in Gatesville, Texas, what they call at the time, junior penitentiary.
Damn it.
Yeah,
So you about what, 14, 15 by then?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
How long you do over there?
I stayed there, I think, about 18 months. And
Okay.
yeah.
So how was that stay? Did you play nice or you bust niggas in the head with 2x4s over there too?
You know what? And true story, and I don't try to toot my own horn, I let other people do that, but anytime I'm incarcerated, I don't play nice. I don't play by the rules, I play by my rules. And yeah, I ran over quite a few people there. And I had some homeboys that was there, from right here from Port Arthur, Larry Senegal, Wilbur Jones, Stanley Clauston, you know, and all of these dudes later on as we, become young men and then men, you know, were bad actors.
So you do about close to 2 years over there.
Yeah.
So you come home, you about what, 17, 18?
Yeah, well, I'm about 17, almost 18.
Okay. When you get back to PA, is everything good or you get in them streets or what you wind up doing?
Oh no, man, I'm in them streets, I'm chasing money, you know, I'm in behind them gals, you know, and I got a street reputation now for being, half as good with my hands, and so a lot of people stand out my way, and I would never just no shit starter. I was just a finisher. You know?
Come on.
Yeah. And yeah, a lot of things started to happen at that time. Then I got into a lot of other stuff. One of my older cousins that my grandmother was also raising, Lightning, he was in the race cars, and he had one of the fastest cars in this area. I was into the dogs, the pit bulls. And
Okay.
yeah, we did our thing with that.
Okay, so how longer, like how much longer you wind up catching a major case? Like you were 17, so by what age you caught that major case?
It was about 2.5 years later, man. I was about 20 years old, and I ended up with catching 2 murders and 5 attempted murders at the time. And
Hold on, say that again.
about 2.5 years later, I was about 20, finna be 21 somewhere in there, and I ended up with 2 murders and 5 attempted murders. So incident that took place in a club. Back in the Gap, it was a popular club. It was first the Afro scene, then they changed the name of it to the Fox Trap, and this is where I end up with the case at.
Could you elaborate a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, I mean, the fighting started, you know, and like I said, I had a reputation by then of being pretty decent with my hands, and few of the bouncers that was in the club decided they didn't want to fight. They wanted to pull pistols, so, you know, they pistol with me pretty good. And long story short, I ended up getting shot by one of the guys. He shoulder shot me with a 380 automatic, and people end up dying, and people end up getting hurt. I go to the hospital, and this is where I was arrested at by the police. They take me into custody, And I'm in the cell in the city out here in Port Arthur, and the detective comes to the cell and says, congratulations, the first one just died. And he comes back a couple hours later, congratulations, the second one just died, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, look, I got shot too, you know. And
Right.
yeah, and multiple people got shot in this place. But long story short, I ended up going to court on it some months later, and a jury trial. And I ended up getting 40 years from the jury, ended up giving me 40 years for the case. And I ended up on the old Clemens unit in Brazoria, Texas. And the old Clemens unit at the time was called the Burning Hell. And because
I heard about that. Let me back up a little bit. So you got 40 years and you were charged with what again?
I was charged with 2 murders.
So you feel like you got a fair trial?
Oh no. Oh no, that's a whole different thing. They charged me with 2 murders. They took me to court on 1. And I went to jury trial. They gave me 40 years, shipped me off to prison. I was on the Clemens unit. I was there, say, 8 months. They bench warranted me back. And the lawyer I had at the time, I'm not going to call his name, but the lawyer I had at the time, he came to me and said, this is what they want to do. They want to give you 20 years on the case that you still have pending. If you accept that, they'll drop the 40 years. They'll dismiss the 40 years, and you just take the 20 and go back. Well, I had already been locked up 8 months, and 20 sounded a whole lot better than 40 at that time. And but they didn't have a murder weapon. My lawyer knew this, you know. Nothing pointed me toward being the killer. And
Right.
and except for one person that was working in there. He came, and later, and he was a convicted felon at the time. His word shouldn't have been worth shit, but you know, they took his word, and I ended up in prison for the 20 years. I go to prison, and the judge that sentenced me to a non-aggravated 20-year sentence. So when I get to prison and I'm up for parole, this is how I find out that, you know, there was some fuckery involved. The parole woman said, you know, she said, I'm gonna bring you up for parole because, you know, that's my job. She said, but and I don't know how you commit a non-aggravated murder. And I'm telling her, I don't understand what you mean. She said, well, they got you here with a non-aggravated case, but it's saying murder. And I'm saying, well, that's what the judge sentenced me to. She said, well, I'm looking at it, but, you know, there's no such thing. So I'm gonna interview you for parole, but you're gonna probably end up doing this whole sentence, discharging the sentence, and I did.
Damn.
Yeah.
So back then, by what year was that?
This was in 1979.
So you didn't hit the county jail in Beaumont before you went? They sent you straight to the pen?
Oh no, I was in the county jail. I was in the county.
For how long?
I think I stayed in the county like about 9 months before I went to trial. Yeah, and I had the shoulder wound, and you know they weren't doing nothing for you at that time, man. People weren't trying to hear that bullshit. So I basically nursed myself back to health. And don't forget that they were selling Right Guard detergent, deodorant at the time, the spray.
Right.
That's what I used. You know, I would take the band and spray that shit in there, and eventually it healed. And I'm pushing up, setting up. You know, I'm working it out. You know, and eventually it healed up pretty.
So back then, where was the county then?
It was the old county in Beaumont. It was in Beaumont, Texas. Downtown. I can't remember the name of the street right.
By the courthouse, right?
Exactly. The old brick building. I think they use it for some kind of federal facility now. I'm not sure.
Okay. So you stayed there for 9 months before you hit the unit that you went to?
Yeah.
And you say you went to Clemens, the Burning Hell?
Yeah. In Brazoria, Texas. And basically, the Clemens unit is used to house prisoners that had already been incarcerated previously, like in juvenile facilities, right? Say you were a juvenile and you committed a felony as an adult, but you had never been in any trouble as a juvenile. They wouldn't send you to Clemens. They would send you to the Ferguson unit, right? All of the people that went to the Clemens unit had already been incarcerated previously in juvenile. So when we basically got to Clemens, it was like a family reunion. People that you had already from juvenile, right?